Welcome to Faith in the Game, the podcast where faith meets the field and the heart behind the hustle takes center stage. I'm your host, Judy Ingram, and each week I will sit down with current and former college athletes who are living out their faith while competing at the highest levels. We'll talk about their journeys on and off the field, their testimonies, trials, and how Christ shapes who they are as student athletes. Let's get into today's conversation and see how God is moving through faith and the game.
In this 7th episode of Faith in the Game, I'm joined by Leilani-Kai Giusta, a member of Quinnipiac's volleyball team. Now entering her junior year, Leilani reflects on the journey of being a Christian student athlete, sharing the lessons she's learned and how her faith continues to guide her through the highs and lows of college athletics. She also opens up about growing as a leader and finding strength in their spiritual walk both on and off the floor. How's the summer going?
Crazy because it's 8:30 over here. Yeah, it's 6 hours behind.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Wow.
It's fine. No, I normally wake up earlier. I was just saying that it's crazy because like adjusting when I go back to school and come back, and then like calling is like all over the place.
Is that what, like a 6-hour time difference you have when you're in Connecticut?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's not even one of my questions. I need to ask. Yeah, what was that like when you came to Connecticut and having to were you waking up like super early, super late? Like, how did you adjust to the time difference?
Well, we come early in the summer, and most of our team is international, so like I feel like everyone's adjusting to the time.
Yeah.
Like literally this next season, we're only gonna have 3 girls from the States. It's super crazy. It's really crazy. I honestly I can't wait to see how this is gonna play out. But yeah, so we get there in the summer, and then he knows everyone is like kind of their schedules all over the place. So normally we practice and lift at or I have to get up at like 6:50. I know some girls get up earlier if they live on York and stuff. Or I'm living on York next year, so I'm gonna see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like normally our practice we'd have to be in the locker room before like right at 7, and then we start lift at 8 and then practice at 9. But like in the summertime it's more lenient because we don't have classes, and then it's like he knows everyone's schedule. So like I feel like for the first like 2 weeks we have like lift at like 10 in the morning, so it's pretty nice. And then we'll start doing like camps for the kids in the summer too, where they all come and we help out. But as for like the change, it was a big culture shock.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something you can dive into.
Yeah, it was just a completely different environment, especially being like a PWI. Like I just not used to that at all. And Hawaii is probably like one of the most diverse states, I would say. But yeah, it was still something that I was not used to. I feel like my first year it was pretty hard for me to make friends. I also wasn't like super outgoing in like the classroom. I was mainly just like because it's hard to like manage both things, so I was just really trying to focus instead of like make friends. And then you have I kind of realized like, oh, like my major, I have like the same people in my classes, so maybe I should make friends. But yeah.
Okay. Well, first, thank you for agreeing to talk to me and be able to set up a meeting. I've been able to talk to a bunch of different athletes, so it's been really cool hearing everyone's like different stories and journeys, especially as athletes and as Christians. So yeah, just wanted to thank you in advance for like allowing me to talk to you and just, hear your side of everything.
What is your final portfolio gonna look like?
Yeah, so it's like this, a Zoom with a bunch of different athletes, and then it's gonna be like a YouTube series. So it's like a video of this, just us talking of what it was, and it's 10 episodes. So I'm talking to 10 different people, and then this is like that's gonna be like the full project of everyone talking about, their faith journey, and then also tackling that as being student athletes. So everyone I've talked to is either a current student athlete or was a student athlete. A lot of them are from Quinnipiac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So one of the first things I feel I talk to everyone about is why they chose their sport. So why did you choose volleyball?
I kind of feel like I didn't choose volleyball. My mom played.
Oh,
So she got me and my sister into it when we were like 6. But I always loved it because I always wanted to be good at volleyball. But it's funny because I always wanted to like be a surfer actually instead. So I my dad um got me into surfing like when we were like 2, he would just take us on the board and like pick us up and stuff. But when I was younger, I know probably up until I was like 10, I had like a wake up call when I actually like entered competitions and I was like, wow, these people are actually amazing. Because like people will like homeschool their parents will homeschool them so they could just surf all day and train.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's a very rich man sport, I will say. You gotta pay for all the boards and the coaching, and then you have to pay entry fees for competitions with like little to no prizes at all.
Oh,
And but yeah, so I was like really like I liked volleyball, but I was like, oh, I really want to like be a good surfer and stuff. And then I tried competitive surfing. I was like, this is just so different because it's you got 15 minutes in a heat to like showcase what you can do. And I'm like, you got to catch a few waves in 15 minutes, and you got people competing against you. And no, so that's when I realized like surfing was not meant for me. And then as I slowly started getting better in volleyball, maybe like right before like middle school. So my mom would help coach at whatever like clinics that we would do so we could get it for free, which is nice. And then she would do that for like clubs. Uh, because every sport is so expensive, but volleyball too. It's just like club was so much. So it really helps that like she would help coach. And then once we started getting older, she's like, nah, you guys got it. Like she's like me and my what she told us, she was like, you guys surpassed my level already. So I'm gonna just watch now. But she still makes her little comments in the crowd and all the videos we see. Like yeah. But no, I really do love volleyball, and I always knew ever since like middle school I wanted to play in college.
were you always tall?
Yeah. Especially because like there's a lot of Asians here.
Mhm.
So I was always just like, and even because you know how boys grow later too. So
Yeah,
like
so you're like,
I was always like one of the bigger ones. But it was nice because then once I started like in high school playing club and playing with better girls, everyone was tall. So I was like, okay, all my friends are tall now. So it all checks out.
did you ever have this stigma of like people telling you to play like basketball or any other sport, and you're like,
I
oh,
actually tried. It
oh, you
was bad. I, okay. It was like 6th grade. I did a half a club season in 6th grade. If I stuck with it, I might have been decent. But I was like too embarrassed. Like my pride was because we would all the girls would practice with the boys and the high schoolers. And this is middle school. We would practice with the high schoolers too. And so they're all like people who are like 3, 4 years older than me. They're all like my brother's friends. And I was like, I suck. I'm double dribbling. I'm getting fouled out. I can't do this. This is embarrassing.
know, at least you tried. Okay, I love that. So you knew from middle school you wanted to play volleyball at a serious level. How did you hear from Quinnipiac?
Um, I originally reached out my
Oh,
junior year. I had so there was 2 Hawaiians on the team before I went. Chloe Kahunui and Fawai Kimzo Moy. But I only knew Chloe super well. Fawai, I actually knew her parents because they worked with my dad at one of the schools. But I grew up really close to Chloe's family. And she has a daughter daughter. She has a younger sister my age who also is playing in the same conference. She plays at Niagara, which is fun. So we can all
oh,
see each other and stuff. But yeah, I did notice that, and I was like at first I really wanted to stay like West Coast. A lot of Hawaiians like if they do leave, they don't want to go too far, and that's kind of what I was feeling. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I was hitting up a few schools. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hit up whatever I can and see wherever I get bites back. And so I was doing a bunch of schools in New York, and then my mom actually brought it up. She was like, "Oh, what about the school Chloe's going to?" And so I reached out and they reached out back and they let me know like I had calls with them and stuff. And then so obviously I was talking to Chloe about it and she just had a bunch of good things to say about Quinnipiac. And it is a great school. And I was like, okay, well, it would be nice if there's other Hawaiians here who's going through it to help me through it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about that transition from Hawaii to Connecticut and like the culture shock and everything. Like, what was that like for you freshman year?
Um, I kind of knew what to expect, honestly. So I was a little bit more reserved, I would say. But I really confided in my team, which is such a great thing because if I just went there as a normal student and I didn't know anyone or didn't have a group of people who I was supposed to be around literally 24 hours a day, then I don't think I would have like been able to have the good experiences that I did. But yeah, I mean, nothing, I really don't like to compare like the mainland at all to Hawaii because it's just so different. So, of course, like, like the scenery and everything's better. So, in my head, I'm like, I know what to expect. It's not gonna be like the same. But Connecticut is really beautiful, especially like Sleeping Giant right there. I do go to like all
Yeah.
the My dad dropped me off and he was like already sending pics on top of the mountain the first day. He's like, you need to hike this. And I was like, you out and about and you're not even helping me move in.
He was experiencing Connecticut on his own. That's actually. Is there anything with Connecticut that's like, oh wow, this is different? Like anything that like really was a culture shock for you?
I would just mainly say the people, um, and the cold, of course.
Oh
I can
yeah.
never get used to that. But I love the idea of like, because I like to dress up and stuff and like because you can't really like wear clothes out here. It's just too hot all the time. They're like, why are you wearing a hoodie? I was like, I don't know. Um, but yeah, so like that was the cool thing. Like I could dress up and stuff. But once it gets cold, I just gotta get from point A to point B. Like there's no point in being outside.
Yes, and it gets cold for a long time there too. A
Like
long.
seasonal depression is real. And even when I'm back at home for a whole month, like I get to come home for a month and a few weeks and I'll still come back and I'll be like, wow, this is a really long winter. I don't know how people can live in this year round.
Yeah. It cannot. So obviously one of the biggest parts of this is faith and sports. So with your faith journey, were you like Christian all your life? Did it just happen like a certain part? Like how did that work for you?
Yeah, so my dad worked in this outreach ministry to like high schoolers. So it's normally in like lower income communities and stuff. So he brings a lot of like students to Christ and then he takes them on camps. So the organization is called Young Life. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's pretty global. And yeah, there's a bunch of camps all around. So you get to like take them on fundraisers and stuff and raise all the money and then go to camp, which is nice. So I grew up going to a lot of the camps when I was like little and like I grew up in the church as well. I remember when I was like 4, my dad like came into my room at night, like before we went to bed after he used to sing us songs and like pray over us before bed. And so I remember one night he was like, oh, like he walked us through and he's like, do you want Jesus to be in your life? Like ask him to come into your heart and everything. And it was really sweet. But I feel like as a lot of people who grow up in the church, they like have at least a good period of time where they're just like going through the motions or
Mhm.
they're not super like they're not fully understanding like everything that's going on and stuff. So I feel like right about when I was like 15 or 16 was when I really like got on that journey for myself and
Yeah.
started making decisions and like voluntarily. Like even though like sometimes you would get dragged to church and stuff, like even though I would have a good time and I would take away um stuff from the message, I feel like that's that age where I really was like excited to like do it. Yeah.
Were you ever like, did you ever feel like criticized for being like a church girl, or was that already in your culture? Like everyone around you was kind of already Christian?
No, actually. I feel like if anything, I was more um quiet about it.
Mhm.
Like I would talk about it to like my close friends, but like one thing I do regret is like inviting more of my friends to church. I do that a lot now, which is so fun because we have this great church for just young adults, and we have like from ages like 18 to 30, and we have like 400, 500 people who come to those services. So it's so fun. And then I get to see like everyone from the island, like even if they don't live on that side, like everyone makes it out because it's just like a fun service that they have, because like the worship's great, and then everyone who speaks. But yeah, I feel like if anything, I like growing up, I was more quiet about it because I thought I would get judged. But that wasn't the case at all, because there's a lot of Christians here, and everyone's super welcoming.
And was it a hard transition with your faith when you went from Hawaii to Connecticut and balancing being like a student and an athlete, or did that like grow your faith even stronger?
I feel like my first year, it was a little bit more difficult for me to like manage around, because there's a lot of religions on our team too, which I wasn't super used to. Because like back at my throughout like high school, like we would pray before games together and like everything, and I just like I couldn't do that with everyone, and I didn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable as
Yeah.
well. So it was more just like having it from a group thing to like an individual thing. But the thing that was really nice is this my second year, how AK started up that fellowship, and I found that was really cool, and it brought people together.
Yeah, AK, that's what a guy. We love AK.
He
He's
really
one of the first people I think to talk to for this
Yeah.
series. And he's the one who also mentioned you. We talk about other athletes to talk to. So one of the parts I want to talk with you is you guys recently went to the MAC championship and didn't win. I mean, what was that like? Well, not only just be able to be at that big stage, but then it not going probably how you guys wanted it to.
Mm. Well, I feel like because were there for both my first year and second, they were two very different experiences though. As a first year, I was getting a lot of playing time, but I feel like as a first year, you kind of have that like mentality of like, I don't care what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna show up on this court and I have no worries. And so like that was like my mentality all throughout my like freshman year. It was just like, how what can I do to get more playing time? What can I do to like be on the court at all times? And I didn't play too much the championship of my freshman year. And it was just like a little frustrating just to see like what was happening on court and like what we could do on the side. But and I got some playing time, and I remember I totally like it was so bad. Like I don't even think I got a free ball over the net. It was like I don't even want to talk about that, but it was just funny because I felt like throughout that whole season I had like no worries or stress, and then like when it came to like that high stake game and then he put me in, he looks over at me, he's like, are you prepared to go in? And I'm like, yes. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, coach, put me in. Puts me in, and I just like fumble really badly. And and then I go back out, and I was just like, wow, that's just like really weird how like your whole like mentality changes, or just like maybe I was like playing scared in a sense. And then this past year, it was it was really nice because I did play every game, but the thing was, we lost one of our best outsides to a ACL injury in the preseason, and so we didn't have anyone to sub us out, both of the outsides. So if we messed up, like we just gotta stay in. We just gotta get better. We just gotta get over it. Like there's no one that can come in for us at this point. So I actually had the stomach flu during our semis and championship. I was green on the court, like literally green. Um, yeah, I got like food poisoning the breakfast we had right before semifinals, and I couldn't like go to the bathroom right before, so it was terrible. And I did feel a lot better the second day. It was more like feverish, but in like regards to like my mentality, I was just like I felt a complete difference because I was just like a lot more like hungry to win, and like and this is a big like talk that we had at the end of this game, because that wasn't the same mentality for everyone, and it might not even been the same like consistently throughout the whole game for me too, where it's just like we can't be the ones wanting to defend. Like we have to be on offense all the time. And not even in regards to like volleyball itself, but just like that mentality of like you want to like slaughter everyone in your way. And that wasn't kind of like the mentality that we had as a team. And that's why we keep letting Fairfield do what they do, which is the annoying part. But yeah, I think it was a big learning experience, especially this year, because throughout the year as well, like throughout the season, my mentality is more like not what can I do to get on the court, but what can I do to like help others on the court too and help everyone. So it's like kind of like shifting to like a leader mentality, and which is something I never really like thought I had. Because I was like at all times I was like I don't want to be a captain, like there's too much stress on it. Coach treats them like, or he just has high expectations, so
Yeah.
you will get the rough end of it always. And if anything's bad with our group, like they will just get drilled. And so I was like, yeah, no, keep me away from that.
Yeah.
But I realized like being a leader on the team doesn't mean you're a captain. It means just stepping up and wanting others to be better. Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you say your faith helps you through like the ups and downs being as like a student athlete?
Um, my faith helps me because I mean, it really like gives me something to, like gives me a purpose, you know? Because I do love the sport and everything, but at the end of the day, like I can't play volleyball forever. And like I know like it's not something I would be doing if like God didn't want me to.
Mhm.
And so like I really trust him in that way to like really try to figure out like what is it this path that he wants for me. And I think that was kind of what I was referring to, how my mentality changed, is because God was kind of showing me like, you know, you're bigger than just an individual on this team. Like I want you to impact others and be there for others and figure out something together, because there's a lot of like you can be really selfish on a team, but it can only get you so far. And so like it's more just being like selfless and um yeah, I don't know if that answers your question well, but
You're good, you're good. So I love you're in your third year. What's your mentality now? Like what's your thing there?
um I feel like really like stepping it up off the court as well, because we're having about like I think 5 or 6 new girls come in, and you know they're all young. I was young. I came when I was 17. I had to have my paper. I'd send all my documents back home so my parents could sign them and stuff. And so like I know what that's like, but me personally, like I've always been like such an independent person growing up as well. Like I've had to work since I was 14 and all of that stuff. And I know a lot of people don't have those experiences, because I realized that when I came, like people get really homesick, or they're just not used to like being independent or like not being around their family all the time. So I was like, okay, so that's something I can take into consideration, and like just being there for others because they are younger, and you know ultimately they're gonna make a big impact on our team. And so just showing them like kind of like rebranding the culture of our team. um yeah.
How would you describe the chemistry of your team, like in the first year, freshman year, and sophomore year?
My freshman year, I would say it was pretty good, and I think it was our best. And I'm not gonna lie, our second year, I do feel like some egos got in the way of friendships and like really like bonding the team together. And as much as like people didn't want to admit it, they just weren't very accountable, or like took away anything um like took away anything ultimately from like confrontation. It was more just like they thought it was like personal attacks, or people were just like really sensitive. Because the thing is with any collegiate sport, like one thing we do talk about is holding like everyone accountable for everything that they do, as well as holding ourselves accountable, and just like trying not to be sensitive when people like call you out, or just just trying to keep it real at all times. But I just think like there was a big divide in our team towards like about the middle of our season, and it was kind of hard to watch, especially because we had a lot of injured players as well. And so I know a lot of our injured players were like, it just like hurt their hearts because like they're like, I can't be on the court with you guys right now, but if I could, um I would be making such a difference because there would be no divide, and we would trying to be that glue to like build everyone together.
I got you. So how do you think you guys will improve to like make sure that chemistry is just as tight for like coming into your junior year? Especially as you're being more like a veteran player as your junior.
Oh, sorry, I think you cut out.
Oh, my fault. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, so how do you like someone who you're probably gonna come in as like more like a veteran and kind of like as a leader, how are you gonna make sure that that's not like a case that you repeat where the chemistry is gonna be just as strong?
Mhm. I feel like it's really just like humbling myself and just like um having a lot of like trust in everyone is something that you don't see often, as much as like you want to trust others is hard on and off the court as well. So it's kind of just like building that from the beginning, like in the summers. I just really want to make sure like everyone's on the same page at all times. I want to make sure everyone knows like it's a safe space to come to and like talk about things that are uncomfortable, because 90% of the time we are uncomfortable together and we just have to get used to that.
Got you, I got you. So when you're in Connecticut, to make sure like you're continuing like your faith with God, is there like a Bible study you go to? Is there a church you go to? Is it your own like personal thing? Like what are you doing to make sure you're continuing to build that connection with God?
Did go to box church a few times, and honestly, it was so fun. It reminded me of home as well. But it just sucks because I don't have a car. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
I just feel isolated, and then like my teammates, I had a teammate that would go, but she wouldn't go too often, and now she's no longer on the team. So um that's a bummer. But I did like really like how accessible like sorry are the QCF, the fellowships, how it's just like it's right on campus, it's easy. I know that there was another one that the baseball coach was putting on as well. I think it conflicted with my class schedule because I had like night classes. But yeah, I think really just doing like my own devotionals, and then seeing what's going on through this other student athletes, because it's right there and it's easy to connect with other people who are going through the same things as you as well.
Yeah. Not to like put you on the spot, is there a certain scripture or book that you always like gravitate towards?
I would I do like Colossians 3:15 because I mean it talks a lot about peace, and I did get it tatted on my side in my grandma's handwriting. And that was more, I got it right before my second year, right in the summertime. And that was kind of just something I really wanted to focus on, because I feel like my brain gets really like crowded with thoughts and like worries and other things. And it was kind of just like a reminder to like, put your trust in God and like have that outlet to go to whenever I'm stressed or worried or even just like overwhelmed, because I feel like, and with that I have like a short attention span, so I'm always just like on go go go, and I'm always a very busy person. Even when I'm home, I like to do a million things and just like not feel left out. But it is nice to like have that time for yourself and God, and to just connect on a personal level as well. So it's just really maintaining that peace and being,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, peace, a great thing to have, especially I can imagine being a student athlete of everything that you have going on and all the things you're balancing, having the idea of peace, one of the fruits of the spirit is like so important to maintain. So like, what are you doing if it's not volleyball? Like, what are you doing to like just debrief? Like, what is that for you?
Well, in the spring I took a few yoga classes. It was actually so fun, I'm not gonna lie. Um, yeah, we have like a lot of good things to offer at Recwell, which I really like. I did a few spin classes too. But yeah, back at home, I love to do hikes. Like it's just so beautiful to be outside all the time. So I love to do hikes. I work a lot, but I love when I come home. So I work at weddings. I serve at weddings. And I normally take home a bunch of like food and like flower arrangements. So I love like rearranging the flower arrangements in vases at home with my mom. And I'm like auntie status already. Like I have barbecues with all my friends and we just grill in the back and we all just get together and we just cook stuff. So I normally have that at least once every time I come home. It's fun to get everyone together and just food brings people together. Like you'll be surprised.
People will move for food, especially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that for you. Are you still surfing or that? Nah.
I did once this break, and honestly, it was so fun. So I need to go before I get back. I haven't been too much. I always have so much fun, but normally, like once I got to that point where I chose volleyball, it was more like I normally had like practices every day, and it was like where I needed to focus on that. But I really should surf more before I go back because I'm gonna miss it.
Yes, I can't say. I don't know if people really do that in Connecticut. I don't know if they have any.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to touch that water in Connecticut. It's
That's one
brown.
of my goals. I want to go to Hawaii because I'm sure it's like amazing. And I know the water, because I've
Yeah.
been like out of the country and the water is so much different than in the
Where
city.
have you gone?
I've gone to Jamaica, I've gone to the Dominican Republic, gone to Mexico.
Oh wow, seen it all.
World, yeah.
Hey, you gotta keep going.
You said
Yeah,
what?
I said you gotta keep it going. That's
Yeah,
the cool thing about like my sport is like we have so many people from all over. So like I can't wait to like visit Italy and visit like Brazil and like all the different places like my teammates are from. Because I mean, if y'all will house me, I'll be there.
I love it. But yeah, Hawaii is one of the things on my list. Everyone talks about it. I'm like, oh, I would love to see like the water in Hawaii.
Beautiful.
But yeah, so one of the things I want to ask, when do you guys go back? Because I know it's fall sports, so you guys leave
I
early.
go back on the 18th, so 9 days. Yeah.
Okay, so are you mentally preparing yourself or you just kind of do as much as you can right now?
I'm just doing as much as I can and staying in denial that I'm going back. But as for like our call time, I'm not like too like, oh, I'm missing out on my summer too much just because a lot of other athletes from home, their call time is like way earlier or like the middle of June and it's like, okay, like I'm not missing out too much. I'm just grateful that I have a longer break and there's more stuff I can do. And it's nice because once we get there, it's not like we're practicing every single day hard. It's like we slowly ease into it and then we have weekends off, so we get to decompress.
Just a little bit. What's the flight? How long's the flight?
So I take a direct flight because I can't just, it's too much traveling if I stop and wait. So I
Mhm.
take a direct flight to JFK because they don't have anywhere to Connecticut. And then I normally take a Uber or a shuttle to Connecticut. So about 2 hours, so like 12 total. Or like 13, 14 waiting around. But yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. This is literally you're across the
No,
country.
it's a lot. I normally just like don't get any sleep before the flight. And so I'm like super sleep deprived. And so I can just like sleep as much as I can because those flights are hard, especially as someone who's like 6 feet tall. Like,
Oh,
I
you were
don't know if anyone bigger than me does it, but those little confined seats.
saying. Yeah, but I'm 5'2", so someone like me, I'm chilling. Like you're how much leg room you actually get.
Yeah. No, I always like I can't deal without a aisle seat anymore. I'm just like, there's no way, especially if that it's that long. Like I'm too shy to like ask someone, wake someone up, like, can I use the bathroom?
So you just stand there, you sing, you know? I get you, I get you. So one of the things I always ask all the athletes is what advice would you give like a young person who wants to transition from not just being like a student athlete, but being a Christian student athlete?
Um, I would say like really tune into like your journey and not be too focused on what other people are doing because college gets pretty hectic, especially as an athlete and like a bunch of athletes, have a bunch of other things going on or um their judgment kind of like clouds yours, but kind of just like, staying true to like your faith and your journey and trying not to, live to impress others.
Love that. Love that actually. Do you still, I know you don't do it as a group, but do you still like pray before a game or anything or no?
I do. I normally do just on my own. But yeah.
Good luck on your junior season. Hope you guys do really, really well.
Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully this portfolio comes out perfectly how you want.
Hope so too. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for tuning into Faith in the Game with me, Judy Ingram. Hope you tune in to the next one.